nice to see you and welcome to Cooking with Carl and Baking with Becca. And today we are cooking with Carl. We are taking a suggestion from last week and we are doing the one pan sheet meal.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, this is pretty good actually. This is a very convenient meal that you can make for your friends or yourself. And you don't really have to get a lot of dishes dirty. I mean, other than your prep implements, there's a lot of prep in this recipe, but I mean, it's like a lot of prep for a long, slow payoff at the end. You're not spending a bazillion hours trying to like saute and do things at different times. You can do it all at the same time and you're golden. So today, as we were saying to Lynn, we are making one pan chili and cornmeal, muffin buns, whatever they are, all together. But it's just something designed to make life easy in one pan that you can make in your oven.
So there's 2 steps, right?
Two steps, that's right. So maybe we start with the ingredients.
Sure.
All right, so Carl, do you want to get going on those ingredients?
1 head of cauliflower. We got a huge one.
Giant.
1 chili pepper, and we still have our. I mean,
I don't know. These are the really Scotch bonnets. So we're not going to use 2. We're going to use 1 because we're not crazy people.
I'm going to make you eat one.
I don't think so.
4 scallions, which I didn't know. These are just crazy big onions.
Yeah, crazy big onions. Technically, these are scallions, and these can also be called leeks, but they're both scallions.
That's a leek.
This is a leek.
Yeah, that's
these are scallions.
Okay, onion family. We're gonna need some olive oil, chili powder, which I grabbed.
Yes, we've got that right here. Chili powder.
Cumin, which is a great spice. Yeah,
right here.
There. Kosher salt. I'll grab some salt.
No worries.
Cornmeal for the biscuits.
Yes, cornmeal, which is like the best kind of muffins.
A little bit of all-purpose flour.
Yep.
Baking powder. So that's the one we want.
That's for our muffins.
Brown sugar.
For the muffins.
Unsalted butter. We got salted.
We like salted. Okay, it's always umami for us.
Buttermilk again.
Oh man, for your dad.
Carl's dad. We're only gonna use this much of it. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll find something.
Yeah.
And shredded cheese. So I got just cheddar. They call for sharp cheddar. We got marble.
We got marble cheddar, but it was on sale, meltier, and also there's a reason we didn't get this. We didn't get pre-shredded, and that's because it's coated. We didn't want that coated texture in our food. So it's just on sale block cheese. And
it called for black beans. Becca's not a fan, and I'm okay substituting. So
white beans.
We're gonna do white kidney beans.
Yeah.
If you're not using the canned, soak them first before this.
Absolutely.
In some water for a few hours overnight even. The canned ones are generally pretty soft.
Yeah.
Can of tomato paste, which
is right here, and that's okay. We shot some in the back. So we're calling for fire roasted corn.
So I had corn kernels frozen. May as well use them.
We're gonna use these for sure.
I don't know, fire roasted, whatever.
I mean, we can light them on fire. You're a firefighter.
And veggie broth. We're going to use up our beef broth. So I'm a big fan of using what we have.
That's right. You got to use what you've got in your fridge. So it's actually really an excellent way to use up your old stuff. So to get started, what we're going to do right away is we have to prepare the stuff to go in the sheet pan. Your first step is to actually preheat your oven. So you need to preheat that oven to about 500 to 550 degrees, depending on what your broil setting is. So you're going to actually be broiling for 7 to 10 minutes on this setting with a few of your ingredients. So we're going to start off. Carl's going to actually chop the cauliflower. He's going to rinse that off and then chop it. Some of the cauliflower has oxidized. It's still good. So there's no worries about that, but we are going to get going. So he needs 1 head of cauliflower cut into small florets. So we're probably going to use 3/4 of that. It is massive, but it's taking place of our meat, right? So it's bigger than Carl's head. So we're going to use as much of it as we need to fill up that sheet pan. As he is chopping that up, I am going to chop up a couple of leeks. So it's calling for 4 scallions. I'm actually going to use 2 leeks for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to chop this super fine. Oh, that's all right, Carl. Do you need a bowl to put that in? It might be a good idea.
I thought it would just break off.
Yeah. Cauliflower is never the easiest thing. I'm going to put this. We're going to put this for you. You are very strong, but I'll put your bowl over there. I'm going to do this as well. I'm going to put my leeks in the same bowl as his florets. So when I'm cross-contaminating the veggies, that's all right. So these are actually going to be chopped fairly small, and I'm going to chop all the way up the stem to here. I don't like the top half. So I'm gonna
You
take
don't like
that
this
right
part?
off.
Isn't that the flavor?
There is some good parts here, but I'm gonna take off the outside leaves first.
Oh.
So what I do is I take off a lot of the outside leaves and I just use the inside, yeah, because it needs to be rinsed. And a lot of these outer leaves are quite tough and very, very like stringy. So you want to take those off.
You can make a soup.
You could make a soup if you wanted to,
Leaf
for
soup,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's up to you. Now this is gonna need a rinsing. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. I'm gonna just chop the end off. And then I'm going to take the top half off as well, again, just from here. And I'm going to trim the outer leaves away. They are full of mud as well, so that doesn't hurt to just take those off.
Well, at least you know they were grown on a farm.
They were grown on a farm, which is really good. So before I get going, as Carl is chopping up the florets, I'm gonna rinse this off right
Are
away.
you gonna call me Charles?
I was gonna call you
You know,
Charles. Would you like me to
well,
call you Charles?
That's where Carl came from. It's root of the name
Really?
Charles.
So
Yeah.
we're learning roots of
Carl
words.
is Charles.
The etymology of names.
That's it.
My,
I don't mind. It sounds fancier than
it does
Carl.
sound pretty fancy.
Like I should have an accent.
That's all right. Don't have your British accent on today, sir?
I can't even fake a good one.
That's okay, neither can I. It's pretty bad, actually. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping here. So I'm gonna chop fairly fine with my scallions
Yeah.
because when you're doing scallions, what you really wanna do is have the flavor of the scallion, but not like giant bites of the scallion.
You're a rapscallion.
I am a rapscallion. That's a great word. Yes, you're a knave and I'm a rapscallion. You're a knave.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
You knave.
You knave.
That's a bad word.
That is a
That's
bad
an
word.
old bad word.
It is. In the olden days,
Does it need a dummy?
no, it doesn't mean a dummy. It means a rapscallion. It means somebody up to no good. A knave. You're a knave or a thief. Uh-oh, Carl's in with the bad people. No, I'm kidding. Actually, knaves and thieves are probably some of the most interesting people that I've ever
True,
met.
true.
So what can I say?
Okay, so I got a lot of cauliflower.
Do you? Okay, keep
Little
going.
brains everywhere.
Yep. We just have to fill up that sheet pan. So as much as you think will fill up the sheet pan, you can kind of eyeball it. So they're calling for one full head, but we got a giant head. So we just want to make sure that we're using the right amount.
You do have a giant head.
What's the menu?
Pardon that?
What's the menu?
For the menu today is, we're actually having roast pan chili. So 1 pan chili with cornbread muffins on the top.
Oh, great.
So yeah, it should be pretty good. Yeah, it should be pretty tasty. So that's the menu today. Yeah, so we're gonna grab the bowl, which is over here.
You got
Go
one?
ahead. Yeah, I'm ahead of you, sir.
You
So we're
are?
gonna go ahead and dump that right in. So there is my scallions.
You're winning the chopping.
I'm winning the
competition.
chopping competition only because I was talking less than you.
Too bad we can't come and eat it.
Yeah, I know. I wish you could, Caroline. That would be the best, honestly. That's the thing that we miss the most about congregate dining is
Yeah,
sitting together and
sharing
eating.
and eating together.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I'm
So
glad
we
to
love
come
to have-
today. First time to see you guys cooking.
Well,
Glad.
I'm glad you came. It's so delightful to see you and have you with us.
Yeah.
So we are chopping away here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing on the board, probably from afar.
Do you think some more?
No, I can't see because you have that bowl in the way.
The bowl's in the way. Okay, let me move this bowl.
Oh,
Yeah.
The bowl is out of the way
I don't
now.
know, Caroline, if you
Right.
can see the other camera. We have 2 cameras. One is a
Oh,
close-up.
they have, mine is built in, mine is Zoom built in the computers. So I
Ah,
can't move the Zoom around. It's built in.
no problem, Caroline. We understand.
Yeah,
Totally understand.
our action camera.
The action cam.
Yeah.
So just chopping this up a bit more.
Yeah.
I'm keeping these in like sizes.
Everything should be fairly small and bite-sized. That's exactly right. So you want everything fairly small and easily chewable because it's gonna be roasted on that pan. So you wanna make sure that when you're having your stuff roast, it's fairly evenly chopped because otherwise you're gonna end up with some really cooked or some charred to heck.
So do we coat it with olive oil?
Yeah, we're going to be putting olive oil on there as well.
Just so they roast a bit better.
That's exactly correct, Carl.
Okay.
So
I'm
that's
good
it there.
for
You're good for
cauliflower.
cauliflower. So the next thing that we need to do for that tray is we need to actually start with the hot stuff.
Hot stuff.
I'm leaving the hot stuff to him because my eyes are already cooking from these
Oh, You're
scallions.
scared of these hot peppers, I know.
So this week, you know, we were talking last week about
Just
how to
one?
protect your eyes. You can put 2 if you want to, but that's gonna be dang hot,
They're
sir.
getting to the end of their life.
They
The
are
seeds
getting to the end of
funny,
their life. Yeah, I would just get rid of those seeds completely and not put them in. No, thank you.
Are you
Hard
sure?
passed on those seeds.
Carl's not wearing anything to protect his eye.
Carl is not wearing anything to protect his
Great.
eyes, but
It's
this,
the onions that you have to protect your eyes.
well,
the
that's
real
it.
onion.
Let me tell you something. We've got a little something this week.
She ran off on me. She doesn't like hot peppers.
This week. For your hot tip.
Oh.
So your hot tip this week is how to protect your eyes from this stuff. So there's 2 ways. We've talked about the first way before. You ready for this hot tip?
I have.
All right. So
What do
the
you-
first way, okay, Carl, stop.
What are you
The
gonna
first
do?
thing you do is you run that under some really cold water. So the first step with anything super hot,
Yeah.
run it under super cold water or put it in the fridge for at least 15 minutes before you chop it.
Onions in the freezer.
Yeah,
for-
in the freezer too, if you want to.
Just for
I
a few
prefer,
minutes.
yeah, I prefer the fridge for about 15 because what it does is it chills the veg down to the temp that you need without really compromising the structural.
Remember
You
when
mean
were-
the onions? The
The
onions?
onions or the hot peppers, anything. You can put them in the fridge for 15, 20 minutes and it helps. Now, if you're not.
You mean,
gonna
do you
do-
soak it with hot water or what?
I never soak mine with hot water, but have you soaked yours with hot water and it works?
No, I just never.
No, we don't soak
Bother.
them with hot water. We cool them down really cool and then we bring them out and chop them after that. You can also wear
Okay.
gloves, but
Hey.
your hottest tip is to find a pair of construction or protective eye goggles.
Oh, like goggles.
Goggles, yeah, don't do that. But goggles are great because they do protect your eyes like glasses if you don't wear glasses. And if you don't have goggles, you know what you can do if you go swimming in the summertime and you dive down underwater? You can put on some swimming goggles.
Flippers?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I got these
whatever
ones.
you got.
As I remember when you were cooking the hot pepper, it was vaporizing.
It was
Into your eyes,
vaporizing
yeah,
right
yeah.
into our eyes. So this week we're like, what can our hot tip be?
I'll
So
put
our
this
hot
in
tip is protecting our eyes.
Yep.
And what we do with that
Protect yourself.
is protect yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So the next thing I'm gonna do,
What else
well,
are we
well,
doing?
I'm gonna ask you to actually go ahead, Carl, and we're gonna start with, maybe we can actually start with putting some olive oil in there and
Does the
tossing it around.
Corn go in?
The corn goes in after, I think.
At the end, are you sure?
Yeah, yes, it
You
does.
toss it around,
Yes, it does.
toss it
So
up.
toss that up. I'm gonna bring you more scallions. So go ahead and toss that up. Add a generous amount of olive oil.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go around.
And then we're gonna add the
We're gonna toss it up.
chili powder
Yeah.
and the cumin. And it all
Into
needs
there?
to, yeah,
Oh,
right
beautiful.
into there, because
That's
we're gonna roast it. We talked a lot before about blooming spices, but we're actually gonna bloom the spices right in the pan. So this is us blooming spices without needing to actually bloom it on the stove. You're gonna bloom it because it's so blooming hot in that oven. Yeah, that's it. Yep. And you can feel generous if you want to. If
I
there's
am,
some.
it called for a half, I'm gonna do it.
So this is, again, we're talking about cooking versus baking, right? So it's all about your flavor. It's all about your taste. So you can be more generous or less generous with spice as you see fit.
Actually, I
The
like
one
it.
thing that I would say is
Whoa.
if you don't want to put into something too much, it's salt or pepper. So what you want to do is save that till the end. So
Oh, nice.
salt and pepper is something that you want to really be careful of when you're dealing with cooking, because what it does is it concentrates as it cooks, right? So that's always something that I'm careful and diligent with, but everything else,
Go crazy.
go crazy, be wild,
Be wild.
do you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead.
Like that song, Born to Be Wild.
That's right, Caroline. There
Oh,
we
chili
go.
powder, it called
Chili
for teaspoon, that's a pretty heaping
That's a heaping
teaspoon,
one.
because that's our style.
Yeah, it is our style, so there we go.
Whoa, whoops. that's
Whoops,
still
just a little more. All right, so what we're gonna do
I'm gonna
now,
get my hands dirty.
he
in there,
is,
yeah.
and he's gonna get his hands in there and get that cooking
Oh, It's
away.
almost like we need 2 bowls. You want a double
Almost.
bowl?
Yeah,
this?
we can
Let's do
double
this.
bowl it.
Let's
We
do
can
this.
totally double bowl it.
Teamwork.
Let's do that.
Let's bowl it.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Get it in there, sir.
Okay.
Rebecca, this is the goggle I have.
Oh, those are great goggles, Caroline. Those
Nice.
are perfect.
It's $15, but it's worth it. It's very recording. They're very good brand.
It's great. Honestly, those would work perfectly if you were cutting something hot, Caroline. Perfect.
This is gonna be good.
So this is
smells-
Full hardware.
On camera, Caroline, you can see how much spice we've got in there in the colors. And Lynn, I'm sure you can see too, we've got all those different colors on there.
We'll toss up. There we
Tossing
go.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
This is good, eh?
It is.
Carl's to do the same thing. He's the same one you guys are doing.
You're gonna check out mine though.
Yeah.
His looks
Can
great,
you move
but
that milk so I can see?
Of course I'll move that milk for you. She can't see, so let's move it.
So
Where is
on Zoom, there's a way to see more than one
The
camera.
green one, the green one, the
the
green
green
one
one? Oh,
there.
of course. Is that better,
Yeah,
Caroline?
that way I can see it better. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. And let me bring this over
Yeah.
here. I'm shoving mine in there. Look how nice and colorful mine
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Sweet. All right, so I'm gonna bring this over.
You're making me hungry already.
Oh, good. All right. Well, that's the goal, Caroline. We want you to make this yourself, so we want you to
Look
be
at
hungry.
this.
So we're just scraping out all the goodness, and we want to spread this out and around onto the tray. So this cauliflower, as you can see, really fills up our tray pan. And the reason why we have it so full, Caroline, I hope you can see this. The reason why we have it so
Oh,
full,
wow.
yep, is because this is, again, a vegetarian-based dish, right? So we've been doing a lot of meat-heavy stuff. We wanted to do some veggie stuff because we wanted to, we can still eat really heartily and inexpensively with veg, which is really important to us as well. Because we know a lot of our members are veg.
And you can save a lot of money.
You can save a lot of money and eat super healthy with veg. You don't need as much meat as you think. You do need a little protein, but not as much as you might think.
And
you
you
do.
spice the veggie?
Did we what?
You spice the veggie, did
We
you?
did. We put cumin and chili powder on this. And now we're putting it in the oven at 550. We're gonna have that in broiling for 7 to 10 minutes. So now the next step is, while we're doing that,
Oh,
it is super duper hot, my friend. The next thing we're gonna do is make those biscuits.
so that's just to kind of
Oh.
toast the cauliflower.
That is to
first?
toast the
You
cauliflower.
said 7 minutes?
That's right. All right, so I'm gonna pull this out. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna start working on these biscuits, but I'm gonna actually ask Carl to go ahead and chop up some of this garlic so that we can throw it into the pan soon. So welcome if you're just joining the class. It's great to have you with us
Hey,
today.
here's my mom.
Hey, Marlene, welcome to class.
Hi,
You're here
Mom.
with Lynn and
Hi,
Caroline.
Len.
Yes.
So did you forget about us, Ma?
I was busy in the basement.
Oh, I figured
Sometimes
you're a
it
busy
happens.
lady. You got lots of stuff on the
We
go.
do have lots of stuff going on all of the time. So the next thing that we're gonna do is hop while Carl's chopping
Here.
up. He's gonna chop up that garlic.
I'm gonna
I'm
show you
gonna-
what you missed.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna actually be doing right now is starting to get into these biscuits. So the first thing I have to do is grab my cornmeal. So I need 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal. So I need to find my cornmeal. Now, so I'm gonna run over here and grab my measuring cup.
Okay.
Here we are. Gotta love these things. Like, I love these really inexpensive measuring cups that you can get at the dollar store. FYI, friends, these are so cheap, but they're so
They're
wonderful.
good until you lose one, and then you got only the weird fractions. But another tip, yeah, just
Yeah.
put a little ring on it.
Put a
you know?
little ring
Put
on
a
it.
ring on it.
If you like it, you then should have put a
knew-
ring on
I
it.
know I can cue you.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
you
trying
can,
to-
you can. It takes me a minute, but I get there. Queen Beyonce, we love her. All right, 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal. Too bad she's not coming over to eat dinner with us.
Yes, you said
All right.
her loss.
No, maybe it's a mutual loss on both sides.
Yeah.
But honestly, here we go. We are gonna go ahead and have this here.
Where does the actual corn go? The roasted corn? That's where I'm confused.
The roasted corn, we're gonna figure that out in a bit. Right
Black-
now, I think
probably
it
with
might
the
be going.
beans, eh?
Well, I kind of also wonder if it goes into my muffins. It's a bit of an adventure. We'll
think?
see, maybe. So what I'm doing first is filling up 3/4 of a cup of this. Now, I wonder if we should maybe also roast the corn. You're right. We'll have to see, although it doesn't call for it there,
It
does
said
it?
it was by fire roasted frozen corn, which sounds very hard to find in
It
specific.
does,
yeah.
but you know what? We could have burned it ourselves
Yeah, we
and
can
like
fire
set it
roast
on
That's
fire.
that's what we're
Roast
good
it
at.
with a fire. Just kidding. No, then it would have just been popcorn. All right, so 3/4 of a cup of our cornmeal, and it goes. Bam, there it is. So the next thing I knew is a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. So we have our flour from before. Again, all of these ingredients you can get very inexpensively, incredibly inexpensively at your
On the
bakery.
ingredients list, we only had to buy maybe 1/8 of what it called for. We have it.
Yes, yes.
You know, once you start buying stuff and you start cooking around it, you can pretty much, that's the best part about having a stock kitchen, eh?
Now,
Rebecca, since I'm not able to come in anymore, you'll always have the virtual Zoom, right?
We will, Caroline, we will. I promise you we will. This is the program that we're gonna continue always, okay? So you'll
Oh,
always
thank
have
you.
access to us virtually for
Yeah.
sure. So you can see next thing I have is my half a cup of flour. Now I'm being extremely fastidious with this because
Yeah.
when you get into the baking, you need to be fastidious. All right, always. That's when you need to be careful.
Are you getting garlic in here?
I'm gonna tell you in a moment what I'm getting in there.
I'm
So the
just
next
wondering
thing that
how-
I need to do
How diced?
is I need my brown sugar in there next. So pretty dicey on that.
Sure.
So I'm gonna actually have, I'm about to tell you how much baking powder. We're at 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So what I'm gonna do is look for my teaspoons in the drawer. Again, because this is baking, it has to be very specific.
Yep.
So I'm getting my teaspoons with my fantastic little baby teaspoons here.
I
So
love that
half,
cute
half,
little one. Yeah.
1, here we go, 1 teaspoon. So here we are, 1 teaspoon, and I'm gonna level that off again. So when you're leveling off, I think some of that should actually go in there.
That's what I'm wondering. If
Thing
it's
too.
garlicky biscuits, right?
Yeah.
And I did chop up a little too much.
Yeah,
garlic,
so we'll put some on the tray pan and some in here.
Sure.
So we're gonna put this here, we'll put this in here in a bit, okay? Once I get the dry ingredients sifted, absolutely. And the rest can go in that pan, I
You
think.
sure?
Why not?
Well, once the 7 minutes.
Yeah,
are
once
done.
the 7 minutes, there's 1 and then 2. So I'm gonna tap that off and then I'm gonna tap it down. Hot tip, tap it down with your finger like that so that you have a nice even top and you're not going over with your baking powders or sodas ever. Those things, again, need to be ratioed in a way that makes sense because it's all about leavening the actual bread. And again, when you get into structural things with baking and cooking, it's always about being careful. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do, once that happens, is I need my brown sugars. So I'm gonna take a quick peek here at the brown sugar. And I need, how much brown sugar do I need here? 1 tablespoon only. So only a tablespoon, so I'm gonna get the big one. Here I come. And this is just for sweetness to go with my, all right, pushing that down. And with brown sugar, you have to pack that sucker down. So
Just
packing,
Tamping.
tamping, and in it goes. There's the 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And once that's in there, now I have to work the butter into the cornmeal mixture. So how much butter do we need? Let's find out. I need for butter.
Yep.
I need to have, taking a quick peek, 4 tablespoons, Carl. So
4
even if you give me a 1/4 cup,
You think that'll be nice?
let's give it a go. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing. Now, I am pre-mixing, again, when you're doing your baking, if you have a baking, like a fork or something to break it up, awesome. And just get it moving. But what I would say is do your pre-mix before, because again, you don't want stuff to be overly chewy. You don't want the gluten to be super developed in this.
It's a bit soft. You want,
That's perfect. I
Yeah.
would even put a little more. Can you measure 4 tablespoons for me, Carl? I just need to maybe see.
1, 2.
Well, let's,
Yeah,
it has to be
let's-
at least this much,
let's-
and it should be
4 of
packed,
those,
4
eh?
of those packed.
Okay,
so-
so what I cut was maybe 2.
Yeah, okay, so
I'll
let's do
another
another.
one of those.
So let's do 4
Yep.
tablespoons. So what we're gonna do, and they want you to do this with your fingers. I'm gonna do it with a fork.
Really? That's all, that's what you're about.
I
Like,
know,
getting
I
your
love,
fingers
yeah,
in there.
okay, I'll get my fingers in. So
Yeah.
we'll put it in. So we're breaking it up. Here we go. I'll get my fingers in.
Sorry.
Carl's putting in butter, and what you're gonna do is break all these pieces off and then smush it up together. So I am just smushing the butter
This is
in
fun.
together, and you want it into a crumbly mixture. So again, I don't have a ton of, you're gonna see a very crumbly mixture coming together in a short while. The reason why I was gonna suggest using the fork is because it's a little cooler. It kind of comes together in a little less clumpy way, but we will, I'm cool
You're
enough
cool
according to
enough.
Carl.
Yeah.
So Carl's gonna take that stuff out of
Yep.
the oven in
It's
just
ready
a
to go.
second here. Do you want to bring the camera over so that they can see?
I'm
Well, we will
actually gonna
after.
tray it up right in front.
Right in front,
Actually, maybe
okay.
over here.
Yeah, that's fine. Tray it up. As you can see, I am in here working the flour into my stuff. So it's really coming together. How's it looking? Oh, it's looking good. It does look good. It smells amazing.
Just watch out behind you.
Yep, and you can actually go ahead, Carl, if you like, and add that garlic, that additional garlic. I'll keep some of it for my thing.
So beautiful
Yeah.
cauliflowers
Look
here.
how good that's looking. Looking beautiful here.
Nice and toasted.
Very
So
nice.
that's our leeks, our cauliflower.
Beautiful. Now-
Cumin and chili.
Cumin and yeah, and you'll notice again, we haven't put in any salt and pepper, and there's a very good reason for that so far, but you will see after what that reason is.
So preheat the oven now.
Yeah.
We turn off the broiling.
Has to go to 475 degrees.
So broiling is the top part. Some people you can't even set a temperature, just
Yeah.
broil or oven. So we're gonna
Yeah.
make sure we switch it back to oven mode 475.
Yeah, so you're gonna go ahead and do that. And Carl, while you're doing that, the next step that you can do is you can actually go ahead and open the beans.
Okay.
And we're gonna add the beans to the tray, as well as the garlic.
Who spilled the beans?
Who spilled the beans? It was you, Carl. It was you. Oh, now we're getting left face. Hello, everyone. I'm on the close-up camera. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna come down here. Get me down here,
How did
sir.
that happen?
I don't know. The camera is a funny camera.
Likes you.
It likes me. I don't know. I think this camera just kind of likes to do it's a very willful camera. Very willful. Yes, it is.
Okay, beans, so I'm gonna drain them.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't.
You want the juice?
It says the juice goes right on there.
Juice is loose.
The juice is loose, baby.
On top of this stuff.
On top and
This is
stir it
crazy.
in. This
Are you
is
sure?
nuts. Yes, that's what it
Are you
says right
sure
here
it
in the
smells-
recipe.
It-
It says,
I'm literally
add the beans and their liquid
on top,
and the corn
on top of this beautiful.
on top, baby. And then the tomato sauce. Don't forget your garlic first. I would put your garlic in first.
Wow, this is
Yep.
wild.
This is wild. So you can see
This
mine's
is
actually
wild.
coming really together before he adds his stuff.
A little
This is look
garlic.
at how quick. Yeah, put the little garlic in there for me. We're working it in a little bit in there and the rest on the tray pan for Carl. So you can't really see what either of us are doing. So I'm gonna bring this over
Wanna
here.
bring the camera?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the camera. You can see how nice and crumbly my biscuits are there. Beautiful. Let's take a look at what Carl's doing over
You got
here.
it?
We got it.
So I'm just sprinkling the garlic all around.
Garlic it is.
Garlic it up.
Garlic it up. That's the way.
And somehow beans,
And the
you know, I
beans.
think the corn first.
Okay, you do the corn first. So grab that corn.
Or niblets.
Next thing is the corn. So Carl is coming with the corn.
Niblets. I just want to say the word niblets.
Oh boy.
Oh, I spilled all my niblets.
Spilled the niblets everywhere. So there's niblets everywhere now. So as Carl
How
was
much
doing that.
corn are we talking?
So the corn itself, well, it called for, I am looking.
That's crazy.
It is, hang on, it is 1 1/4 cups.
Okay, so I got a feel.
Yeah, so Carl's just gonna feel around there. You don't want clumps, so
Don't
make sure
touch
those.
my niblets.
I'm gonna touch the niblets as much as I like. I'm a touchy-feely person, you know. Here we go.
That's the word of the day.
Touchy-feely?
Tam, niblets.
We've got a few.
Yeah, we got a few ones.
All right, rapscallion,
Yeah,
knave.
Knave or knave.
We're knaves,
Okay,
knaves and thieves.
So now the odd step is the beans.
The beans, all right. So Carl's coming with the beans. So
Are
these
you
these white
sure?
beans, that's what it says. It
Okay.
says as the beans and their liquid.
Here's the bean can.
All right, here comes the bean can. I will hold this. You do you.
What's that corn
Oh,
starch?
I know that corn. Oh shoot, there's cornstarch everywhere. Here he comes with his beans.
Beans it up. So black beans would have, I see where they were going with it.
Yeah, because
It would've
it's
looked
chili.
cool.
Black beans do look cool. Forgive me, folks. Black beans just aren't my
They don't
favorite.
sit with you?
They don't sit with me very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll clean up the.
All right, so he's gonna clean up the camera because I am really excellent at a few things in life, and one of them is making a hot mess. So he's gonna take care of that. Yeah, he's like, oh wow, oh, we're looking at the wrong thing. So let me just turn that around. Here we are. So here we go. We're back in my cornmeal mess. And as we're doing that, I need to get 2/3 of a cup of cold buttermilk. So here I am with my cold buttermilk for Carl's father. Here we are.
He loves that stuff.
He does. Like, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. That is intense. Like, buttermilk is intense. Does anybody on this call like buttermilk? Anybody?
Tastes like weird yogurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
weird
Like
yogurt.
weird yogurt. Weird,
right.
weird
You
yogurt.
called it.
Yeah. So I've got half cup here.
We lost?
No,
We're
we're
back
not
on
lost.
track.
We're back on track for sure. So work the buttermilk with your fingers. Buttermilk and a 1/3 cup of cheese. So after this, Carl's gonna have to actually do the cheese for me too.
Cleans it up.
Cheese it up. But you also need the tomato sauce on there too, sir.
Okay.
So he's on it. And so to get my 2/3 of a cup, I'm doing 1/2 and 1/3 of a cup
So
together.
now it actually called for tomato paste. But
Yeah.
you know what? I bet when you boil down pasta sauce.
Oh,
you
it'll be
get
good.
something close.
Can I have a spoonful of that to taste, Carl? So while that's going, I'm gonna actually just mix this up just gently. I'm gonna bring this together nice and slowly. I've added my buttermilk.
Sugar.
Makes the medicine go down.
You gonna eat it?
Um,
Okay. How is it?
Oh, it's so
Is
good.
it good?
Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna just kind of sprinkle it around on the top.
Oh, Carl, it's spicy. You're gonna love it.
You sure?
Try it. You're gonna love it.
How much are we talking? There's
Uh,
only gone off like now. I'm just.
Do the whole thing, Carl.
Are you?
It's the whole thing.
Wow.
Get in there.
This is
This is super spicy, Carl.
wild.
So here we are with the muffins are coming. So
Wild as rest.
this is just coming together here. Now that the butter and here we go, I need the cheese now. So I need a cup of cheese from
Come
Carl,
on, come on.
but he'll get to it in a moment. He's doing his thing. And while he's doing that, I'm actually going to adjust the salt levels in the pan, but I'm going to do it not by using salt.
Your secret salting?
My secret salting in a secret way.
What's that?
All right, so I'm turning this over to Carl. He's gonna put in a cup of cheese and start stirring. So he has to grate the cheese. So I'm gonna leave it. Carl, grate me some
Cup?
extra cheese.
Okay,
I
some more
love
garlic.
cheese. There's some more
We're gonna
garlic.
get rid of this. and
Yeah,
mix
do
it
you
up.
get rid of that? We do need room. So you can see here, we've got kind of like a pasty lump here of our cornmeal muffins. Once we add the cheese, it'll give it a bit more girth.
Cheese goes in the muffin,
Cheese goes in the muffins.
not on the.
No, sir, not on there. The cheese goes right in the muffin. All right, so once that's done, I'm gonna go over, and so what I'm gonna do, and what we are bound to do with this, which is really important. Carl, is there a stirrer?
Oh, your
there?
hands, man. Oh.
Not my hands, it's hot, baby.
Cornmeal.
Yeah, my cornmeal all over it again. Oh boy, folks. Carl cleans it up, I mess it up. All right, so here we go. Here we are. So this first thing I'm gonna do is I've got this spoon. Carl's gonna do that. I've tasted it. It's super spicy and delicious. Arrabbiata is always spicy, and that's what we
What, do you know
chose.
what that means?
Arrabbiata means spicy, doesn't it, in Italian?
Italian.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead
That'll be it.
and I am adding our secret thing, which is Maggie sauce. I don't know how many of you know Maggie sauce.
It's like a soy-based sauce, right?
Oh my God,
It's very
Maggie
good.
sauce is so
I
good.
grew up with it in soups. You know, you'd add it to soup.
I add it to everything because I love it. And it's maybe not like everybody's taste, but man, do I love Maggie sauce. So the first thing I'm gonna do on the tray here is start mixing. So what you have to do
I was wondering if we
to
gotta
make your
mix it.
chili is that you have to mix it. Now, Carl, do you have tomato paste by any chance?
We actually do.
We
yeah.
should add some tomato paste for depth of
Well,
flavor.
it is. It's a zingy flavor. Right?
It is a zingy flavor. It brings a real, like I said, a depth of flavor and a really good,
Who doesn't love a little zing?
who doesn't?
Zing it up.
We all love a good zing. I might even need more sauce, my God.
Well,
It is.
give me this.
Okay, here we go. In it goes. So we are just gonna mix this in.
This is wild.
This is gonna be wild. So we are, and then we're gonna add our beef broth soon too.
I was wondering
So-
about that also.
What we need to do, what we're doing right now is basically just ensuring that we coat everything in this mixture here. Carl is again shredding that cheese.
Yep.
Does anybody have a favorite kind of cheese that they like to use in their muffins or their baking? Like, does anybody have a favorite kind?
Old cheddar.
Old
Old
cheddar,
cheddar.
nice sharp. It is a nice flavor. It honestly is an amazing flavor to use old sharp cheeses.
They get drier as they age, do they not?
I think so. We have to go back to that cheese store that we started out with in the
Cheese it up.
beginning, Cheesing that
What is
up.
that? Global cheese.
Global
in,
cheese. We have to get back to local shopping. We've
Kensington
been really
Market.
rushed lately, but we do have to get into our local shopping. Kensington does have some amazing things to offer.
Well, whatever we're making next week, let's make sure it needs buttermilk.
Yes, all right. Well, buttermilk something.
Yeah.
So I'm almost done with mixing this in here and just making sure every single thing is coated in that
And then,
sauce.
I got your cheese ready. my
Got my
friends.
cheese ready? Well, when it's ready, when you got that nice big cup, you're gonna work it
Oh,
into.
it's more than a cup.
Oh, good. Oh, wow. Yeah, it sure is. That's all
Is
right.
that too much?
No, it'll be all right because it'll be on here. So it's not like you're cooking them alone. If you were cooking them alone, it would be just burning.
Or in a
But
biscuit, they would get greasy.
yeah, but because we're cooking it on top of a chili pan, it should be okay.
Chili pan.
I'm gonna give us some grace this week. Why not?
Thank you, boss.
You're welcome. That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I didn't even try to buy Tex-Mex
No,
stuff today.
no, he didn't. He kept it.
She's
really-
helped me kick the habit of my Tex-Mex addiction.
We didn't get parsley either, but we do have scallions, so we will
You're a
use those at the
rapscallion,
end.
yeah.
I am a rapscallion. I'm intrepid and I'm a rapscallion.
Yeah, intrepid.
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's what they're gonna name your boat.
The intrepid.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so
So-
here we go.
On top of there, not in the biscuits, right?
Yeah, in the biscuit.
In the biscuit.
In the
Not
biscuit.
all the cheese.
All the cheese in the biscuit.
I thought we put some on
No,
top.
it only goes to the biscuit.
Okay,
it'll
so
burn on
like
top.
I was saying, this
So
might
this
get
is-
too greasy. then.
That's okay. We'll be okay because it's gonna drip down into this.
Drip it.
Drip it, baby.
Okay, there's a lot of cheese, man. It's
Yeah.
more than your dough. Are
It's
you
okay.
sure?
Yeah, get it going.
Oh, wow.
All right, so this is covered.
Great, we're covered.
All right, we're covered with the sheet pan. We can see that that's diligently covered. So we're gonna come back over here to our muffins. Oh,
Oh,
baby.
boy.
Oh, boy. Hot mess. And we're just gonna work it
I'm gonna
in
start cleaning
gently.
up. You still need salt and pepper. right?
Because I use the Maggie sauce, I'm
Maybe
not gonna
not.
use salt. Yeah,
And we use salted butter.
We
It
did.
didn't call for that.
we
so.
did. Yep.
We're
So
keeping
we're
track,
okay to
right?
go. That's right. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is add broth. We need to add our broth to add some sauce to our.
This just feels like madness.
It does feel like madness, but it's good madness. There's method to our
I
madness.
think so.
I think so too. And that's the thing. You have to be positive, right? No matter what you're doing, even if you're stuck, even if you think, oh man, it's not going to turn out in the end,
It might.
they might. And you have to really, you have to stick with it. When you start a project, you have to finish it and you have to finish
Be
it.
confident.
Be confident. Yeah, you have to do it to the best of your
So I'm
ability.
gonna actually bring the
Commit.
tray to the front just so everybody can see.
Of course.
We'll
Bring
get
the
a
tray
nice
to the
final
front.
shot.
Yeah, bring the tray to the front.
Let me, just get-
This is nice and guppy here, so it's all ready to go. Gucky and gippy.
I love these words.
I know, I just make stuff up. I feel like the Urban Dictionary is gonna have a Becca section. Here we
Hey, that's
go.
language, right?
It is.
Okay,
Language
friends.
evolves, as long as it's not garbage language. Here we go.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
Not so hot anymore.
Not so hot, so maybe we can move that over
Not
so
so
you can
hot.
see. All right, so the last thing we have to do is go ahead
Yeah.
and we're actually gonna take the beef broth. Well, you could use veggie broth. If you're keeping this veggie, use veggie broth.
Yeah.
But we're using beef broth because it's what we had in our cupboard. So we actually need to have 1.5 cups of beef broth.
Gotcha.
Here you go,
All over this mess.
all
Oh,
over.
looks good. You're making me
Okay,
hungry.
right? Yay, that's the best, Caroline.
1.5.
1.5.
Good, beef broth it up. Make
So
it
I'm gonna start to
soup
gently
here.
make
Now,
little balls.
If you didn't have a pan with a lip, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you need a pan with a
Big
lip. Hot tip, get your pan with a lip.
Rip it up.
Can
Can you
Uh,
summarize all the ingredients you put in the balls?
All the ingredients you put in these ones?
Yeah.
Sure. It was 3/4 cup of cornmeal, 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. It was 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. It was 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Then it was 2/3 of a cup of buttermilk. And
cheese.
our cheese, a cup of cheese.
Lots
But
of
I promise
ingredients.
you, I'm also gonna send that to you in an email, Caroline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
In the YouTube, I always put a little ingredients list. You'll see, it'll be nice to follow and you can pause it, right? As you're going
Always.
along.
Always.
Okay, we'll set here.
Carl, it looks good.
It looks like something.
It looks like something.
I don't know.
That
It's a chili
seems like a
because of the-
positive thing to
because of
say.
the beans, right?
Because of the beans. I
Yeah.
know, I'm so sorry, everyone. It should have been black beans. And I said,
No, it looks
can we
great.
please have white beans?
With the corn is very interesting too.
Yeah, so we're supposed to have 12 of these little
Balls?
bites on the top. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
And the
10.
balls just on the top,
The balls go on the top.
ball it up.
11 and 12. Okay, here we go. So here's our 12 balls. This ball's a little bit bigger than the other balls, so I'm gonna add some to that ball. The thing is, you generally want your balls to be the same size, otherwise it looks weird. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3,
Balling it up.
balling it up. 4, 5, 6.
Right on top, eh?
Yeah, right
This
on
is so
top.
interesting.
7,
So they'll suck up a little flavor as
they
they bake.
will.
Nice.
8,
Just gonna check our other camera here.
9, and
Still rolling.
10, 11, and
Are we about done?
we are
Like,
about done.
We blasted through this.
We
And
did
it
blast
feels
through
like
it.
when we do that, generally I forget an ingredient or something. So I like to look at the table.
That's
and
pretty
We
tasty.
got everything. You're eating it?
I'm eating it raw.
The little chives. What about those?
So the little chives, I think they're supposed to go on at the very, very end.
When we finish, we
Yeah,
just.
that's your
our
garnish.
That's my stuff.
So what we're gonna do now is this is going into the oven. So you can see what this looks like on the top of your pan here. Everybody's got a good clear view. Any questions before we throw this into the oven?
Because that'll be that, right?
That
How
is
long
the-
are you gonna put in the oven?
So it's
Good
going
question.
in for 475, at 475 degrees for 25 minutes.
That's it, eh?
25 minutes. Now, if your oven isn't super hot, you may go from 25 to 30 minutes, dependent on your oven. Remember, everybody's appliance is different.
What I would look for is, see how we got a lot of liquid in the
Yes.
bottom, the broth? If it's still liquidy, I'm assuming a lot of this will boil off.
Yeah,
because
some of it will, it has to
it's
start,
flat.
it says you have to also look for, you have to bake it until the chili starts bubbling and the biscuits are golden and cooked through.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it in there.
And that's it.
I
eh?
would like
You
to
got-
follow you with the camera. Wait, I'm gonna follow
Well,
you, I'm gonna wash my hands.
I'm not cleaning that camera a third
I
time.
know, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. You know what I like is your passion. You get so.
Hi,
into
Marlene.
What you're making. you
Yes,
know?
I
I'm
do.
Carolyn. Carolyn.
Here we are.
Okay. Well, that went along pretty quick today. For such a crazy meal, we put it together quick. I mean, mind you, when you're by yourself, the chopping and stuff takes a little longer.
Mhm.
But what an interesting way to make everything
Now my
instead of
hands are
separate
clean.
pots. eh,
All
sure?
right. Yes, sir. My hands are clean.
Okay.
All right, you can see 475.
Yeah.
Here we go. And
Okay,
then
you
coming
wanna pop
down
that
here.
open, my
Yes,
friend?
I do.
Oh, my face.
And your face is burning off. Okay, so 25 minutes. We're gonna set the oven for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And the last thing we can do while we chat with you folks is go ahead and we're gonna actually be chopping our scallions. That's the wrong way. Nobody wants to see our lights and
Oh, I
everybody
can-
wants to see our board.
We're gonna race chop?
Why don't we race chop?
Oh, you win.
Race
I don't have a
chop.
cutting board.
What do you mean? You can just share my cutting board. Don't be silly. Come over here. I'm already gonna beat you because I'm already on here.
I don't even have a knife.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
gonna just sit and watch you chop. Let's see how good you are. Oh, I don't know. You're pretty thin, I guess.
Well, I don't like them super thin. I like a bite to my scallions. I know people tend to like them very fine, but
I never actually use these guys. I always go like onion, or parsley.
so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna use the green part. The
Yeah.
white part we're not gonna use, and I'm gonna take it and put it into our, I'm just gonna throw it into our chili.
Please let me know.
Thank you.
Hold this down. You were a scallion.
I am a rapscallion, chopping those scallions. So while we're doing our scallion chopping here for our garnish, does anybody have any suggestions? Next week's a baking episode
But we're gonna, well,
with buttermilk. We'll work it into whatever they suggest.
baking, yeah, let's see. Any ideas for baking, Caroline? Since it's your first show.
Is there something you'd like to see us make next week, Caroline?
Oh, I know, like Chinese food. Oh,
Chinese?
Chinese food.
Hmm,
Baking.
Chinese baking. Oh, what kind of Chinese baking?
I don't know, anything Chinese.
Anything Chinese? Okay.
You know those buns?
I'll leave that up to you.
Meat buns
Yeah, we could do the sweet buns.
with the pork filling.
Oh my God. I don't know if you folks have ever been to Ding Dong
Is it called
Pastries.
ding dong?
It is called Ding Dong.
Okay.
I love Ding Dong.
Yeah,
Oh my
ding
God.
dong.
You're addicted. Yes, I am.
But I like, I'm gonna see how hard those are to make, because I
Yeah.
love those. They're kind of like a sweet bun.
Yeah, we'll
With the
take a look
inside
at
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
We will 1000% try to make something sweet from a Chinese bakery next week. If that is the
Mhm.
suggestion.
Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Oh,
it.
of
We can do it
course.
ourselves.
Yeah, let's see what we can come up with. And you be the judge at the end for us. You be the judge, because we will need to know if we've done the right thing.
We'll get the real judge.
Or we can get Jennifer too, or Melissa. Yeah.
Can't say her name.
Yeah, I know.
She'll
That's
come
right.
running,
She'll come running
Wants
out.
to judge our food.
She's the Oh no.
I told her she was gonna be on camera today.
Yeah.
She wasn't. happy.
She wasn't having it.
She
No.
judged me out of that.
The verdict came down and the
No.
answer was a hard no. A hard no. But
Next week will be the 7th, right?
yes, the next one is the next week, next Tuesday. That's correct.
Same
That's
time.
exactly right. Same
I'll be
time,
watching
same
11.
place. That's right.
I'm-
And-
I'm glad you could join us today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna join us for sure next week if you're doing the Chinese.
We will for sure. And it's so
yeah.
delightful to see you.
We eat it.
I'm eating cheese now.
Filter out.
But listen, It is so great to see all of you. Thank you all
Yeah.
for coming. Marlene, Lynn, and everybody. Thank you so much.
And you'll be sure to email me the recipe and the
I will.
YouTube link for all your cooking shows.
Will do.
We'll send you the playlist. We got about 10 or 15, so you can.
Because I miss a lot of your cooking
from.
shows.
You'll enjoy it.
Lots to choose from, my friend. We'll send them today.
Okay.
Okay, well, we love you all. Thank you for coming. We'll see you
Okay,
next week.
thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye, everybody.